Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of the Meteorological Report pre-record. Nobody is in the studio yet, and it may be a scant episode. Brandon is right now on the other side of the country. Only I know and a few people where Brandon Houck is going for his vacation. He let it slip on one of these pre-record broadcasts, not during the show, during the pre-record, and that is why if you ever watched the show, you would know. BC supposed to get warm. This thunderstorm right now, Saskatchewan. Rainfall warnings in Alberta. That's shifted north. Those rainfall warnings. There's some thunderstorm activity going on there maybe now. That's shifted northeast. Look at this stuff. Beautiful. That's going on right now. Thursday, 7 p.m. More or less. Here's that storm. Bet you there's a tornado warning on that right now. That's me looking. That's how this should look. River, I've partied there, played music there. That's where Neth Creek Festival is. Saskatchewan. Bronze, there we go. Tornado warning. That's the guy. Doesn't say anything. Person should be aware. Yeah, I guess so. Thanks, Environment Canada. This is the guy here. This is the guy here. That's an ugly looking little storm. When they get alone like that, that's when they're really able to get spinning. Oops, I hit the wrong thing. What's going to happen the next few days? Ooh, look at this little guy. That's an angry little storm. When they get isolated like that, that's when they can get spinning. Okay, let's get off the radar. Friday at 5 p.m. Not hot. 24 Trail, 21 Cranbrook, 18 Revelstoke, 23 Kelowna, 21 Kamloops, 16 Blue River, 19 Williams Lake, 20 Quesnel, 16 McBride, 20 Prince George. Hey, there's something I want to do there that I'm doing wrong. Still no one in the studio yet. Okay. It's the middle of summer. So everyone's busy. I'm in there waiting for all you. I could take this chance to share the stream. Tell everybody that we are live. That's what we do. It's a new week and a new episode. Come join the live stream. Yes. Let's go back to Saturday. What are things going to look like? A little warmer. Vancouver getting warmer. That's 4 p.m. So that's about as hot as it's going to get in the day generally. 28, 26, Kamloops and Kelowna. 25, William Lake. 27, Quesnel. 27, Prince George. 25, Campbell River. 25, Vancouver. Go Sunday, 1 p.m., 3 p.m. Now it's getting real hot in the southern Ontario. So here's that heat wave Frankie's been talking about. 33 Kelowna, 33 Kamloops. So that means some of the fires that are burning down south, Cranbrook 31, especially in that southeastern fire zone, are going to have some fuel for burning, some heat. Monday, 5 p.m., really hot in Washington again. They've been just getting crazy heat. Expected to be over 40 degrees again in Washington State Monday, the 8th of August. What does heat do again? Tuesday, 5 p.m. So it's going to get pretty warm again in BC. I think this is a bit unexpected almost in a way. Cold front on Wednesday. You can just see that already. Well, what does that mean? That means rain and thunder. So we get a few days of sunshine. And then this happens again, as per usual. So that's pretty preliminary. We'll see where it actually ends up going in the coming days. Almost showtime. Gabriel's showing us a picture of a tornado, or of a funnel cloud at least. So that's cool. See if there's a new update on that tornado. There is a new update on that tornado for the Ronge. At 7:50 p.m. Central Standard Time. Severe thunderstorm, possibly producing tornado. Damaging winds, large hail, locally intense rainfall are possible. So it's southwest corner of Prince Albert National Park, approaching Hunter Lake. The thunderstorm is moving east at 35 kilometers an hour. The hazards of a tornado, 110-kilometer wind gusts, and golf ball size hail are larger. So very concerning situation right now in Prince Albert National Park. Let's go back to the present. See if we can get another satellite picture of this guy. That's him. That's him right there. It's a real dangerous tail in behind. I would bet that this is the danger zone right here. Moving east. So Melfort, Beatty, Kitsano, Kinestino, Mescanaw. That is a tornadic storm. Maybe this in behind here. Maybe that's the actual danger zone. Brant's Beth, Birch Hills, Kinestino. So tornado warning for them. I'm sure we're going to have Frankie and them come on pretty soon, and we'll start the actual meteorological report. Everybody, feel free to hit thumbs up, like the channel, share, subscribe, do all that kind of stuff. You know, help us out however you can. That'd be awesome. Here's Frankie MacDonald. Okay. Good evening, Frankie MacDonald.
Doing great so far. There's another interview at 11:20 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time with Jason Marshall. We don't have cookies.
Okay, so you're going to bolt in a little bit?
Yes, that means once I go on at 11:20 p.m., I'll be leaving your show and join Jason Marshall. Once I'm done with that interview, I'll rejoin your show after that.
That sounds great, Frankie. Great. Well, welcome. It's Thursday, the 4th of August. This is the Meteorological Report. Good morning, Prince George. You're hearing us on the 6th. Good afternoon, Winnipeg. You're hearing us on the 8th on CKUW 95.9 FM. Prince George, CFUR 88.7 FM. This is the Meteorological Report. I'm Joey Only. This is your show about how much the weather sucks in Canada. Live streaming on my YouTube channel, Joey Only Caribou Weather Dude. We're here with Frankie MacDonald, who is the weatherman himself from the East Coast, Sydney, Nova Scotia. And I don't know who else we're going to get on the show because Brandon's traveling. It's summer. Everyone's enjoying their nice, warm summer. Frankie, how's your summer going so far?
It's going great so far. There's a major heat wave headed for Sydney, Nova Scotia tomorrow. And Saturday and Sunday, it's a major heat wave is going to hit Vancouver, British Columbia on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday as well. And it's going to hit Ontario, it's going to hit Quebec, it's going to hit upper Midwest United States. It's going to bring so much thunderstorms to Minnesota this Saturday, Sunday. It's going to bring a lot of thunderstorms in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and St. Paul, Minnesota. It's going to bring chain lightning, fair lot down there, heavy downpours, large hail damage, winds, possible tornado. And it's going to bring and lots of hot weather down in central states as well, including northeastern United States. It's going to bring really humid weather going from Newfoundland all the way down Florida, Arkansas, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas. It's going to bring really dry heat in Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Nevada, Colorado, and all these places. Then it's going to expand its way to Oregon, Washington State, and Vancouver, British Columbia. And Europe is getting a heat wave next week in England, France, Spain, Portugal, Norway, Finland, Sweden once again, including Tokyo, Japan. They're getting a lot of rain and thunderstorms in northern and southern Japan and central Japan lately. There's a lot of rain going on in India, and there's a lot of sandstorms coming all the way off of west coast of Africa in Sahara Desert, driving all the dry, dusty air all the way into southern states, limiting hurricanes because sandstorms so intense right now in Sahara Desert, bringing a lot of thunderstorms and rain and all across Venezuela, Colombia, and all these places bring a lot of stormy weather in southern Chile and Argentina, with rain and snow up in the mountains of Chile. New Zealand's getting a lot of rain and snow up in the mountains lately. There's extreme cold air headed for New Zealand next week in South Island.
How extreme cold?
Very extreme cold in New Zealand.
Very extreme cold?
Yes.
Okay. How's the weather in Sydney, Nova Scotia been?
Right
So,
now, it's
like, you're
warm
seeing a
outside right
heat
now.
wave's coming, but how warm
There's
has
a
it
heat,
been?
there's a heat wave headed for your area on the weekend too in Vancouver and Victoria.
Yeah, I don't know how much we'll get here in Wells, but the temperature will go up. It's looking like it's going to be nicer and nicer. I don't think it'll be. I mean, we say heat wave. It's not going to be like some of the extreme heat waves we've had, but it's August and there's fires burning, and I
And
think the heat will certainly.
there's extreme heat headed for Greater Vancouver on Sunday and Monday.
Certainly, the a few days of heat will get some of those fires prepped up and going. So that is the concern next week, and I think we don't have thunderstorms here until Wednesday. Right now in La Ronge, well, actually in Prince Albert National Park area, there's a tornado warning going on, Frankie. So I hope
It's really,
everyone's
really
safe
bad.
there while we.
Causing a lot of thunderstorms in Minnesota this weekend coming. It's going to head towards northern Wisconsin.
You know, we're sitting here talking about weather, and sometimes it's scary to think that there's people who maybe might be losing all kinds of. Yeah, it's a dangerous situation right now in Saskatchewan. I was just looking at the radar.
It's a dangerous
So,
area
Frankie
going on right
MacDonald,
now.
it's just you and me. So, talk to me about how Frankie MacDonald became Frankie the Weatherman.
When I was a little boy, I wanted to grow up. I wanted to be a weatherman. I used to watch the Weather Channel a lot on television when I was a kid. I watched the Weather Network nonstop when I was a kid. And did you hear about that? And I graduated from Academy in 2004. And in the December 27, 2007, I did the very first videos of the scenery. Then on December 16, 2009, I did the very first video of myself. Then on June 8, 2010, I did a video, severe earthquake warning for California, September 2010. It went viral a couple of days later. I was on Tosh.0 season 2, episode 13.
When did you make your book?
2018. And then Sarah Soller writing my book in late 2017, early 2018. And my book is released on June 15, 2018.
What's your book called, Frankie MacDonald?
Be prepared, the Frank Down Guide to Life, Weather, and Everything.
I have a copy, and it's good. So, where's your favorite place to eat in Sydney, Nova Scotia?
I like
Imogen
Boston
says she'll be
pizza.
there in a minute.
I like A&W and Boston pizza. And Jason Marshall's going to do a show at 11:20 p.m. Atlantic time, 7:20 p.m. Pacific time. Jason Marshall's going to do a show.
What's Jason Marshall's show like?
We Don't Have Cookies. He calls it We Don't Have Cookies. That's the name of his podcast.
He interviews stars and things like that, or what does
He
he like to
interviews
interview?
people and things like this.
How can people find that show? Not they. I don't want them to watch it while they're watching. While I'm broadcasting, but I guess it's on YouTube, is it? Or
It's on YouTube channel as well.
excellent. Right on, Jason Marshall. He's cool with the meteorological report. So, when was your first weather video you made, Frankie?
Way back in 2011, like it then for Colorado blizzard forecast back in October 2011.
How many views did that one get?
A lot of views, quite a bit of views. And my most viewed video ever on my YouTube channel was Guy Tries Eat 50 Hot Dogs Once. I did that video on May 21st, 2012.
How many views did that one get?
1.8 million.
That's a lot of views, man. So when you're like walking down the street in Sydney, Nova Scotia, people are like, "There's Frankie." You get
That's me,
that a
Frankie.
lot?
They're getting the picture taken with me a lot.
Yeah, you're kind of a star around that town, aren't you? Someday, I hope you can do the Frankie World Tour.
Going to so many countries, including up in space.
How many countries?
Every single one of them, including up International Space Station.
Russia too?
Including Russia, including Japan, including Egypt, including Saudi.
Including Chile?
Yes.
What about Madagascar?
Yes, same thing. Mozambique and South Africa, Botswana, and even up in International National Space Station and up to other planets.
Up to Mars or the moon, you think?
Mars and Titan.
Frankie MacDonald goes to Titan. That'd be a good movie. We should pitch that.
And did you hear about that Saturn's moon Titan? It's totally different.
To be like
Moon altogether. It's a planet like Moon.
it should be like a major motion picture, like Columbia Pictures or 20th Century Fox. Frankie MacDonald goes to Titan.
That's going to cost them a lot of money.
Yeah. Imogen says she'll be here in a minute. Just Frank and I.
And did you hear about that? And did you hear about that? Australia is going to get a lot of hail this October coming. It's going to bring a lot of hailstorms in October in Sydney, Australia, Perth, Australia, and Melbourne and all those places, including Darwin, Australia. It's going to bring a lot of hail in southeastern Australia this October coming in November. It's going to bring a lot of hail this southern hemisphere spring. It's going to bring a lot of hard, large hail and severe weather in southeastern Australia because their spring starts next month.
How big does the hail get, Frankie?
Biggest grapefruit-sized hail.
Grapefruits.
There was grapefruit-sized hail in Alberta on Monday, just passed, between Red Deer near Ponoka. Broke car windows and terrified people. It was some of the largest hail ever recorded in Canada.
How big is the largest hailstone on
Imogen.
record? Hey.
How you doing?
Grapefruit-sized hail is the largest hailstone.
What?
Grapefruit-sized hail.
Is that the biggest hailstone on record?
Yeah.
Size? Not watermelon size, football size?
What happens if it's Earth-sized hail?
Oh,
It would destroy the Earth.
I think we just call it a comet at that point.
It would be the comet.
What happens if it's a Milky Way galaxy-sized hail?
Now you're getting a little out there, even for me, Frankie. Okay, Milky Way size hail. Now, do you mean like a roving hailstorm going through the universe? A galaxy of hail? Is that what you're talking about? Or like one giant? Okay, that would be cool.
It would have its own gravity, and then everything would crash into it because it's the universe's biggest hail. It would be like the black hole of hail.
What happens if it's a hailstone size of the whole universe?
It would become so heavy that its own density would turn in on itself, and it would become a black hail.
Black hail, not a black hole.
Yes. And if you fall into the black hail, it's
well, okay.
You know.
But how cool? Okay, would it
that
be?
Happens.
There's a heat wave headed for your area on Sunday.
There better be. I want to hear more people whining. I want to see hippies suffering and hear the whining. That's what I want to hear. But circling back to this whole galaxy of hail, would it be more dangerous to surf on the hail, take a surfboard out in the galaxy and just go surfing, cruising around on a surfboard, or in a kayak, paddling around, galaxy hail, riding a kayak? Which would be more dangerous?
Galaxy hail.
Galaxy. Okay, you're in a galaxy of hail. Would it be more dangerous to surf or to kayak?
Surf.
That'd be more dangerous? Why would it be more dangerous?
Because you're having bigger accidents.
Well, okay. I like this line of reasoning. See, if you're in a kayak on the water and you flip upside down, you drown. If you can't get out of it, you just drown straight up. On a surfboard, you fall off, you may get bonked in the head. You're still tied to the surfboard, so you're not really going to sink. But, you're still bonked in the head. But in a galaxy of hail, you're not going to drown.
if you fall into the black hail,
Yeah.
then maybe you want to have a sail for solar wind.
Yep. Okay, that'd be cool. I mean, that would be kind of fun.
I would love to sail the universe.
Hell yeah. That'd be so awesome.
I do that in my dreams at night. I like just go
Surf the universe?
surf everywhere, man, just in my mind.
That's
What kind of dreams do you have, Frankie?
And sometimes I have a dream, and could be I don't know.
Do you ever fly in your dreams?
Sometimes I can see a cliff in my dreams. I didn't fall off. I saw wolves. Sometimes
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've had some wolf dreams. Do you ever have tornado dreams?
sometimes a tornado, or it could be large hail.
I like to fly in my dreams. I like to fly. You
okay,
know, just
where are you flying? Where
just
are you flying?
sometimes it can be like I don't like what's going on. People are talking, you know, things are bad. And I'm like, this sucks. I'm out of here. And I just float away. See ya.
That's fair. See, I thought you'd say something like kind of fun, like you'd go to the zoo and fly around and just like buzz the giraffes and stuff. I mean, they're so tall that they don't really get anything human sized buzzing by their heads. They might get the odd crow, but so what? But having to do
Never buzzed giraffes, but definitely cities and definitely lots of bad guys.
okay. Not
Do you
going
ever
by the
fight crime in your dreams, Frankie?
What?
You ever fight crime in your dreams?
Sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
You ever
Super
do
Frankie.
You ever do crime in your dreams? Like dream that you're robbing a bank or something?
Hmm.
I can't picture Frankie
Yeah.
even like I can't picture Frankie even thinking about robbing a bank or something like that. Or like blowing stuff up that shouldn't be blown up.
Joe Stover's on the road to Thunder Bay.
That's right. He's going to Ontario for his vacation. Brandon right now is flying. And I know where he's going.
Where's he going?
It's like this big secret. He doesn't want anyone to know. But then, so what was funny was we were doing our pre-record a couple, like 3 weeks ago.
Yep.
And everyone leaves the studio. So it's just me and him left on the Zoom call. And well, what he doesn't realize is that we're still broadcasting on YouTube, right?
Yep.
So he starts going on. He's like, I got this vacation planned. And
Brandon will be back to work in mid-August.
it's a big secret. No, and luckily no one watches my show. But he's like, it's a big secret. No one can know. And he tells me right away. And he's all excited. I'm like, dude, we're still live streaming.
He returns to work at the radio station on August 15th.
Well, that's good.
So he is on his way to the Maritimes. He is on his way to the Maritimes. I can tell you that for sure. And I know where.
Fire Island.
But not where Frankie MacDonald is.
Is he going to Fire Island?
Fire Island. I don't know about Fire Island, but maybe Potato Island.
Our ginger gem would be so popular on Fire Island. Bermuda Triangle.
He's going somewhere where his hair matches the ground.
Ew. That sounds horrible. He's going to a toxic spill. Why would he go to a toxic spill?
The color of the soil. The color of the soil. Have you been to that province? It's like shocking when you first get there. You're like, wow, it's true.
I was there July 2001. I was only 17 years old.
What did you think of that province, Frankie? That we're not
even a celebrity
saying
yet.
because it's a
YouTube
secret.
didn't even exist. Social media didn't even exist yet. That's before I entered my first year in high school.
What did you think of the province, though?
It's a great one as well.
Very pretty, isn't it?
Frankie, out of curiosity,
Last time I was
When's
I was
your
just gonna say
birthday? Frankie, when's your birthday?
April 24th, 1984. I'm 38 years old right now.
Okay, cool.
I'm a Jason Marshall interview right now. I'll be back.
Okay, yeah, 7:20. There goes Frankie. Talk to him in a bit. It's just you and me.
Oh.
No one else coming on the show this week.
Dear
Brandon's
Lord, why? Oh, son of a
I know.
bitch. Well,
Brandon's flying, right? I got lots of filler I can throw in this week, so it's okay if we don't have much of a show.
video clips of
And
nothing.
also, even Seafer this weekend, all the radio programmers are on their way to Haida Gwaii to play the festival. So they're not even able to put the show up on Seafer until the Tuesday airing. So, it's that kind of a week. CKUW gets us still. It's the Imogen and Joey only show. So
Okay.
talk to me about
Yeah, that's what
talk to me about
world
the wonderful.
needs. Just us.
I think so. Why not?
Well, yeah.
We're funny.
Funny looking.
like
We're funny looking. Okay.
Speak for me. Speak for me.
Speak for no one else. I promise you nothing and I deliver every time.
So the weather was really nice in Victoria. Talk to us about your sewage beach.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Our beaches are disgusting. It is absolutely
Your
beautiful.
language. Start again, but with radio-friendly language that I can use.
With CRTC approved language, the beaches here are absolutely beautiful, picturesque, scenic, endless blue skies, beautiful blue, deep Pacific Ocean, whales in the distance, sea otters will come up to you. There's actually an area where I go kayaking. Me and my buddies, we're pirates. We'll set off on a public beach and wash up somewhere that maybe we're not supposed to, and just sort of hang out for an hour and then head back, paddling across a lagoon. And while we're out there, we will see sea otters will come right up to the boats, and we'll see giant jellyfish and, eagles overhead. And it is just the stuff of, it looks like something from a movie set. However, we also dump millions and millions and millions of pounds and liters and whatever unit of measurement y'all want to use of raw sewage right into our waters. We have zero treatment. What we have for treatment is it gets pushed through a screen. It gets broken down into a fine paste and dumped right into the oceans. Raw sewage, everything that gets put in there. One of our beautiful, scenic, picturesque, appears on postcards at every tourist shop is the Gorge Waterway. It is breathtaking in its view. When the tide goes out, you can see the foam from all of the laundry soap that is dumped directly into the waterway. It's covered in this thick, harsh yellow foam. It is soap foam. If you pick it up, you can feel the soap. You can wash your hands with it. It's disgusting. One of our inlets, about 20 years ago.
Phosphates.
Pardon? Yeah.
Phosphates. And people would think that sewage is like brown or black or something, but it's not. It's like a gray sort of color, isn't it? When they dump it.
Closer to the sewage, the little runoff pipes, when the water levels go down, you can see shredded toilet paper all along the beach, all along the rock walls. It's, if you actually you take 5 seconds and look a little closer at what's in front of you, and you see shredded toilet paper. There is a slimy film that you only find near the sewage outcroppings. It's gross, but topically for tourists, it's absolutely beautiful. It looks nice. Then the tide goes out and you look closer and you see that, yeah, a turd just washed by you. Great. That's our government in action.
Political environment, it's like there's a slimy filth kind of on everything in Victoria.
Yes. We do have an extremely corrupt city hall. We have really poor city planners. In a few years ago, I was actually cleaning offices, and I was cleaning the office of a civil engineer, and I saw some of the shady things going on in there. Just paperwork left on the tables. I mean, I'm cleared for security. I can't actually give specifics or really say much, but I was seeing a lot of stuff that, really, if the public knew about it, there would be a lot more people would be a little more upset with things, or typically complacent, because this is a very laid back, complacent kind of environment here. So who knows? But there's a lot of shady stuff going on. I'm not happy with our government.
Yes.
Or any government,
Don't
let's be real.
don't spill the beans, because we don't want you to go missing and turn up in the sewage.
Well, up island, we do actually have a certain occurrence of feet washing up on shore, severed feet every now and then. A lot of like crime TV shows have incorporated that into storylines. It makes the news every time, but it's happened enough times that it's become fodder for, shows like CSI or Law and Order and whatnot, Bones. They've all used storylines with severed feet, and that's based on what happens here, because we do get that. You're welcome.
Joe Stover, he's on the road to Thunder Bay. Last week he said, yes, well, I'm starting my vacation next week. And then I thought about like how many weeks is Joe Stover actually in Churchill, Manitoba? And I'm like, dude, aren't you always on vacation? Busted him. Joe's on
Awesome.
vacation. Brandon's on vacation. Everyone's on vacation. I'm not on vacation. I like live
That's
in
why
paradise.
it's me.
Why? Yeah, like
Well,
it's like,
yeah.
oh, it's the holidays. I better go somewhere. And then I like go somewhere and there's like vehicles everywhere and people and it's stressful. I'm like, why did I try this? So I think tomorrow I'm gonna go back to the mountains. It's like 50K that way. Caribou River, big mountains, swim in, fish. The good stuff.
And you see a lot of wildlife there. Like you've dealt with bears and you dealt with, I don't know, pumas or whatever. What's the occurrence of Sam Squatches and chupacabras?
Yeah, well, chupacabra definitely not, because that's like a sort of a Texican thing, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Senior.
I could consult the book of Monsters.
Yes.
By Darren Zanko. Would you like me to give me 1 second? I think it's right here, the Book of Monsters.
Son of a. Thanks, dick. You know what? See, now that you're not watching, I can swear, and you're gonna have to cut this whole section out later before you actually air this.
That's
I don't want to.
Oh no, where's my monster book?
No, it's okay to come back and not actually show the book. I believe you. Oh, you bastard.
Oh man. See, the thing is, my friend Dan Zanko, he's this writer in Alberta.
Yeah.
And he's really funny. And for a long time, he was like writing for the Edmonton Journal or whatever that main newspaper was.
Yeah.
And he was making his thing was video game reviews. So like he wrote video game reviews and made a living writing for the newspaper, right?
Yeah.
So in the process, he wrote a book that's really, really good. It's called The Complete Monsterology, Complete Guide to Monsters, or something like that. But it's all written like it's taken pretty seriously.
Oh, nice.
As if these monsters exist, and but it's quite funny, and it's each monster gets its own sort of like page and a half or page.
Yeah.
With an illustration, and it's great. It's the kind of thing that you can read to your kids, but it's kind of made for adults too. It's a good book.
Sweet. I've got a encyclopedia of cryptozoology here. I'm not going to go look for it, Joey, but I do have one. It's just on the bookshelf somewhere. There's a million bookshelves here, but it's got some pretty cool stuff in there. And there is, I don't know if you remember Thetis Lake, but one of the lakes out here, there was apparently a sighting of a monster in the 70s at Thetis Lake. We've had a few. Sasquatches are the best known for BC. But we did have there was the Ogopogo one, which was like a giant eel or something. And then the Thetis Lake one was kind of cool looking too, by the description.
I think
which I think it was just
Ogopogo.
some kids on acid.
I think Ogopogo is likely a couple large sturgeon surfacing.
I don't know what a
You know, like
sturgeon looks like.
well, they can be quite large, like as in
Yeah.
15 to 20 feet. Or I know back in Ontario at MacDonald Lake, not far from Mom's house, there was sturgeon that could be like 15 to 20 feet long, found in the bottom of that lake, right? So they can get
That's
really
pretty cool.
like the river sturgeon in BC don't get quite so big, but
Yeah.
they can be 12-foot long. So you get a couple sturgeon coming up, and people in the
Okay.
distance like, what was that? Right?
Monsters.
Yeah. There's usually a pretty good description. I've seen from a distance a black bear standing on its hind feet,
Yeah.
just standing there, and it did come down and then walk away, but for a good couple seconds, I was like, from a distance, like, what the? And then I realized what I was looking at. It was kind of getting dark and it wasn't good visibility, and there's this like giant thing standing on its feet, some 100 feet away or something like that, right? So I've never come across Sasquatch. I would think like BC's forests,
Yeah.
it'd be pretty hard after this length of time for something to have not been, seen, proven, or found of that size. It
Not
just
that
it's a tough sell on me on the Sasquatch.
well up.
Water creatures,
Oh
there's
yeah.
weird things that happen in the water. There's some deep lakes in BC. I won't speculate that there's dinosaurs or whatever, but there could be things we aren't aware of in the bottom, or exceptionally large versions of, like I say, deep water sturgeon can become really big, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it was last summer or the summer before, up island, somewhere up island a little bit, there was discovered a whole lot of bears, like a bear transit route. There's like a bear highway effectively that had not been previously known. And so the bear population, we only recently discovered that it's much larger than we thought. It was also discovered that there was a lot of wolves living in the area as well. Again, way more than expected. So like we've been through the forest, but there's so much life in there and things change and evolve at a fairly rapid pace. Like the ecology of it evolves. So what it looked like 10 years ago is totally different now. So we might have some mutant Sasquatches that have since developed like tentacles and monkey feet. It's so that they can climb and
Could
stand
be,
in trees very rapidly.
could be true, but not
Antler?
likely. Not likely. Yeah, the forest has been so logged, unfortunately, that some of the mystery is taken out of it. Here's a Darren Zenko book. I don't have to go look on my
Found it.
shelf. The Field Guide to Monsters by Darren Zenko. It's even got the field guide kind of look to it. It's hilarious. And so is Darren. There he is. So now you know. True story.
Well, that's awesome. See, I wasn't gone far. Mine, Field Guide to North American Monsters. Whole other bag of cheese from yours. See, look at that. There's
Okay.
Sasquatch. That guy's real, in that he's really in a photo. Everything you need to know about encountering over 100 terrifying creatures in the wild by H. Hayden Blackman. And there is some cool stuff in there. Not going to start reading from a book of monsters, but Sam Squanches might be out there.
I do like books of monsters though, just because I like that kind of stuff. Whether
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe in Sasquatch or not, that's fun stuff, right? Why not entertain? Read about monsters. It's funny. There's something I was gonna say, and then it's gone.
Cryptozoology. The technical term is cryptozoology.
Frankie MacDonald is back.
Oh, wow. Frankie Mac, you're back.
How was Jason Marshall's show, Frankie?
It went great. I got something to say. Jason Marshall, I was talking to him. I was talking to two other public figures on Jason Marshall's show. Those two guys are watching my videos and things like this.
Good.
I got something to say. Roger the Wild Child Show, Nashville edition, starts up on August the 14th, 2022 at 9 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Roger the Wild Child Show, Nashville edition. They interview those country music stars and country musicians and things like this. And I got something else to say. Roger the Wild Child Show, Hollywood edition starts on Wednesday, August 31st, 2022 at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time on every Wednesday.
Frankie, have you ever heard about ball lightning before?
I got something to say. Roger the Wild Child Show.
Okay, say it.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. Roger the Wild Child Show, Nashville edition starts on Sunday, August 14th, 2022 at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Roger the Wild Child will be interviewing country musicians and things like this. Nashville edition of Roger the Wild Child Show starts on Sunday, August 14th, 2022. And Roger the Wild Child Show, Hollywood edition starts on Wednesday, August 31st, 2022 at every Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. Roger the Wild Child will be interviewing actors and actresses and things like this.
Frankie and I were just, so Imogen and I were just talking about Sasquatches and Loch Ness monsters and things like that, Frankie, which got me thinking about ball lightning. Do you know anything about ball lightning?
It's way up in the sky. That could trigger a lot of
Not
lightning.
always, though. Ball lightning is some weird phenomenon that can appear before or after lightning or as a result of lightning. Apparently, they're not sure if it's a plasma ball or what it is. It's still a big mystery of science. What is ball lightning? But one thing is for sure, it exists. They know for sure it exists now. It's just been seen too many times. So there's a lot of a weird electrical phenomenon. There's sprites and things like this that happen in the sky. A certain amount of UFO sightings, I think, are actually electromagnetic phenomenon. True story.
Okay, I'll give you a point for specifying some, but there's a lot of aliens roaming around, man. Like I'm gonna say the majority of alien sightings are aliens. Forget your.
Are you an alien, Imogen?
Depends on who you ask.
Frankie, you ever meet an alien?
No, not at all. Aliens don't exist in real life.
Oh, come on. Since when?
Since when I was born. Since a long time.
Since when you were born?
Since
Dear Lord.
Do you think there's life in the universe, Frankie?
I don't know. It's too hard to tell.
I think there's probably life in the universe, but I think the universe is really, really big. And it's very hard to get from one place to the other.
Well, maybe hard for us because we are feeble and unevolved. We are chimps. Come on, man. We're not that much higher on the evolutionary scale than chimps. So given the size of the universe and the probability, if you're just looking at odds, there's a real good chance of life out there. Some sort of sentient life.
There's probably life in our solar system.
Yeah.
There's probably life in our solar system.
I mean, in the late 90s, there was a fungus or a mold or like a moss or something found to be growing on one of our satellites that was actually in orbit of the Earth. And that is classified as a life because it is something that exhibits growth. It has a behavioral pattern. It has it's got a genetic structure. It has cells that replicate. So by definition, there is life. It's just not something that we would be able to have a conversation with or, whip a pie in its face. So there's life, but you can't always talk to it.
Doesn't have a face to pie.
Exactly. And if you can't whip a pie in an alien's face, why bother? At the very least, you got to slap it.
That would be just a comical way to start the first Vulcan walks off
Yeah. Welcome to Earth. Here's a pie in the face.
Everyone's laughing at him, and the Vulcans are like, we do not understand their communication.
Yeah. we're screaming yuck, yuck, yuck and poking them in the eyes, and they're saying Klachi Barada Nikto. Things stand still and everyone's sad. Half the world's in darkness. The oceans stop moving. It'd be fun. And all from a pie.
What do you think it was like when the dinosaurs lived, Frankie?
Dinosaurs, it was way different during Jurassic, and Cretaceous period. There's no people living on Earth then.
What do you think it'd be like if you could go on a time machine back?
That means that could kill all the dinosaurs because somebody got the got a virus, and if you travel back to time of the dinosaurs, if somebody sneezes, all the dinosaurs go down.
Oh, you just watched that episode of The Simpsons, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's right. I knew it. It's a documentary, man. For those who are not familiar,
I was like, wow, that's brilliant. And then Imogen blows it for me.
For those who are unfamiliar, it's Simpsons Halloween special from, I think it's season 4, possibly season 5. Homer goes back in time and he sneezes in a dinosaur's face, and then a whole chain reaction of death happens. He goes back to the future. Things are weird. He goes back in time. The first fish.
I do recall that.
He sits on it. I wish I hadn't killed that fish. Then he remembers.
I do recall that.
Yeah. Do you remember what Abe's wedding day advice to him was?
No.
There's a lot of people go on Joey Only show there on vacation.
Yes, sir. On Homer's wedding day, Abe says, "Son, if you ever go back in time, don't touch anything."
Just like time traveler, things like this. And a spoiler alert, that means you should watch Avengers Endgame. Spoiler alert, all you guys gotta watch it first.
Which one?
Yeah, I haven't seen much of the Marvel movies. Are they really good?
They're really good. That means I'm not telling any spoilers.
Frankie.
Crossed my mind as the kids and I were looking for things to watch the other night, but instead we settled for Mad Max Fury Road.
How did you like that one?
I saw a Mad
Personally, I
Max
love
movie. A German Shepherd dog.
It's like that's what movies should be like. I thought, like,
Really?
yeah, it's not deep, it's not perfect. I get it. I'm not saying it's great. It's a great, it's beautiful. It's shocking to the mind. It's stimulating to the eyes. It's like everything is just way crazy. So it's very imaginative. That's what I liked about it.
Okay.
And I like how they purposely tried to hire freaks, in their pursuit of freaks. This guy shows up and he's like a busker, and what he does is he plays this crazy guitar. They're like, yeah, this guy's awesome. Let's make a character for him. So yeah, there's a big truck that has guys playing drums and dudes just flying around with his guitar, and it spits fire. That's the other thing, is guitar spits fire, right? So it's like,
That is
he's just a busker freak. And they wrote him into the movie because they just thought, yeah, we don't have a part for this guy, but yeah, okay, you're in. So to me, like, I like when you're looking at the people in the movie, like, they found some really hard looking people to, they did their homework to find some of those faces.
Well, to be fair, the
Teethless and weird noses, people missing limbs, and they just hired anybody who is a complete freak. And I thought that was wonderful. Personally, it wasn't just CGI. It wasn't just a bunch of, there was a couple pretty girls and whatnot, but like, most of the characters aren't these CGI freaks. Like, they're actual people who are just mutantly
deformed,
weird.
disfigured, severely physically differently abled. And thank you for referring to that demographic as freaks.
Well, because there's just such a wide variety in the movie, right? It's a freak show movie, essentially.
It does kind of hinge on that. The visuals were pretty awesome.
It's trying for that.
Yeah.
Trying for that. The vehicles are awesome. So yeah, again, like, it's not a perfect movie, but it's one it's some good eye candy. definitely.
Visually,
I don't
yeah,
put it on my top movies list, but I love it nonetheless.
I do want to circle back to the very first part of what you said about how it's what movies should be, and then follow it up by saying it's not great.
Well, what I mean is, what it should be is it's imaginative.
Okay.
It's not like I don't like a movie. For example, in the 90s, everybody would watch Friends on Thursday night, and I didn't because I didn't care about a bunch of people having coffee in some rest. I just thought, I don't want to go. I don't want to watch a show that doesn't really take me. I guess that was a different place, but it wasn't a place I could really relate to either. It's just like these sort of dweebs that have a good life or whatever. I don't know. I didn't find the show funny. I didn't relate to the characters. That wasn't the kind of thing so I always like movies that were fantastic, that
Sure.
were, you're gonna make a movie. It's not just gonna be, When Harry Met Sally or something, right? I mean, good movie, I'm sure, but it's just I'm not interested in that. That's like normal everyday things that happen.
I never,
So when you go to a different universe, or you go to a different time, or you go back to the dinosaurs in a movie, or Marty McFly can travel in time, or you know Indiana Jones is fighting the Nazis. There's some sort of creativity that makes the movie not just. So I like the escapist element of a movie, I guess is what I'm saying, right?
oh, I'm with you on that one.
When I
Things that,
when I want to be intellectually triggered, my go-to is to listen to university level lectures on things like geology or weather or World War II or stuff like, so I just don't find, when I want to be stimulated intellectually, that necessarily a fiction movie for me is the way that I like that the best, right? So,
sure.
but sometimes heady, dark movies that are slow are for me. Das Boot or whatever. We talk about movies lots in the show, but
I never understood the appeal of Friends. It was so super popular. I didn't get it. It just seemed really boring, but it did, it actually had a place where it was a fairly important show for one reason, in that it was one of the first shows to be in the primetime slot that actually had looked at there's the queer character, the dude, David Schwimmer's character. I'm not familiar with all their names, but David Schwimmer's character is married to the lady who came out as a lesbian and then left him. The marriage broke up or whatever. There's that element, which was not, and that was, yeah, the LGBT thing was very moving forward. There's a lot more in terms of same-sex couples were becoming more and more able to add each other to their health plans through work, for example. Same-sex marriage was being legalized in Canada around that time, and a lot of older people were for the first time able to come out, and so there were a lot of people realizing that about themselves and being a little bit more open instead of hiding it and staying in the closet, so to speak. And so Friends showing that dynamic of a relationship, that was one of the first times that appeared on TV, where the reality of someone who goes through the motions and doesn't learn that about themselves until they're much older, they're married, maybe they've got kids. It was a big thing. And for that to become a part of social consciousness, that was a big deal for TV. So it did have a very important place. But the show itself, I thought it sucked, aside from that key part, but like, still, I wasn't interested in the characters or the story or any of that. So boring.
I really didn't know any of that about Friends, to be honest. But
Yeah.
that shows you how little I actually paid attention. Like I knew there's like Phoebe and Joey, and then there's that guy that's like Chandler. He's supposed to be cool or something. Like, I don't know. I was punk rock. I didn't care. That wasn't for me. 90s. Pretty yuppie stuff, I thought. But I mean, that's
Yeah.
humongously famous still, right? So, and people look back, and that's like back when we only had a couple channels to watch, people were forced to endure
What was
and
available.
then convince themselves that it was good when really it wasn't. It's just that it's Thursday at 8 p.m. and there's nothing to do. It's the winter, and So you put on Global TV. That's the channel you get because you live in Canada. Friends is on.
We have two
It's like you're being
channels.
force fed. You're being force fed this
Insipid.
empty froth.
Yeah. Well, when it was big, I didn't watch TV like at all. I don't think like I had an antenna on the back of the house and we got like a channel or two and that was it. But I was involved with the Victoria Youth Pride Society at the time, and being aware of pop culture and these themes as they appeared, or actors and singers who were behind the scenes, they were openly queer, but for their public image, they had to hide that. And so those were the issues that we addressed. And we would do things like talk at junior high schools where people could just ask us questions like, what's your experience with dating? What's your experience with telling your parents? Or how did your parents react? Stuff like that. And so part of engaging with, teenagers, and we were like in our early 20s, so this isn't like, it's not super out there, but part of engaging with them was being able to relate in terms of pop culture. And so whenever we heard about this stuff, then part of the job was to learn about it, watch a few episodes. I couldn't get into that side of it, but the guys that I was working with really did, and just like gravitated to it and just loved it. And so we actually did these weird, we actually broke it down and analyzed it and talked about like what was actually shown in the show and how it was packaged for mass consumption so that the larger populace could be introduced to the idea in a fun and lighthearted way. For a lot of people, it was very strange and they didn't get it. But for a lot of people who lived it, they were very happy to see the representation.
Not even Courtney Cox could get me to watch the show.
Oh yeah, she was so hot for a while.
No, so that's why you just put on Ace Ventura. You don't need friends.
No.
When you got Ace Ventura.
Yeah. Oh, she was so cute in that, man. That was awesome.
The whole movie's so good.
It really is. Yeah. Finkel is Einhorn, man. Never forget that.
We had this my godparents' sister married this comedian, Wayne Fleming, who was grew up in the Yuck Yuck scene with Jim Carrey, was Jim Carrey's best friend for many years. And I don't know, they had some falling out near the end, but doesn't matter. When I was a teenager, Jim and Wayne were still very close, and Wayne would write often some of the jokes and some of the clips in the movies at the time. So I felt very close to those movies growing up in a sense, hearing Wayne's side of it and jokes. Like he wrote, Wayne Fleming wrote the "Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a pool man" part of it, right? Because he knew that Jim could do those because they've been doing comedy together for so long, right? So if you ever do get a chance, look up Wayne Fleming if you can find any of his old videos. The guy was really funny. He was, but one of those comedians who never quite got out of the grunge circuit of comedy because of whatever, just being a wasteoid in life or mess up, Comedians tend to be dysfunctional people.
Sad, bitter, depressed. It's really common with comedy for sure. Yeah.
Yes, I tell jokes because I hope everyone suffers like I do inside.
My humor is meant to bring you suffering, distress, trauma.
I play kind of a deadpan character on the show. It's not completely who I am. It's fun for radio, right?
Yeah, by the way, who is what demographic actually listens to this on the radio? Out of curiosity.
The demographic? I don't know. I mean, Winnipeg, I know that the directors of both station quite like the show. They think it's pretty brilliant. So
oh, brilliant.
I got a comment from somebody. Yeah, well, yeah. I got a comment from somebody recently who's a pretty good critic of things. He said, "You're as good as anybody on the radio right now, Joey." He's like, "Thank you very much, actually." So There's definitely some appreciation.
That's
The
good.
show gets listened to by people in their houses and whatnot. It's too bad we haven't really broken through on the internet version so much, but
See,
whatever.
with that little pause in there, I thought you were going to say people in their 80s.
No, no, it's on university stations, so like who listens to university radio?
No one.
Well, I mean, like no one. So, so, but they should. They should support community radio and they should support university radio because, it's do whatever we want, right? It's making good radio. I don't have to have some script approved by CBC or something like that. It's great. We just
That is true.
get together and talk and make a show. Yeah, it's wonderfully free.
It is.
I know that the people. I know we're a mystery in Winnipeg who's appreciated. Of course, I've played a lot of gigs in those towns, so there are people who are like, Joey Only's on the radio here. Weird. Check it out.
Awesome.
I guess so. I used to be cool back in my younger days.
The older I get, the cooler I used to be.
The cooler the reflection, the rearview mirror looks. Objects in the review mirror appear cooler than they actually are.
Joey, before the pandemic, you used to travel all across Canada with your band.
That's true, Frankie. It wasn't just the pandemic that stopped that though. That was part of it, definitely. But a lot of it was just becoming a family man. And man, I don't want to say much on the radio, but there was a time period where getting anything done in my life was very difficult for a bunch of reasons. So. And then there was a time afterwards where I just, so.
Back in April 2020 and late March 2020, the whole planet Earth was shut down.
Why's that?
I really kind of stopped. I didn't really play gigs much in the last 5 years now, Frankie. Before that, I played like 100 shows a year often.
Frankie,
very busy.
Frankie, what's the farthest you've ever traveled from Sydney, Nova Scotia?
Cornerbrook, Newfoundland. I was only a toddler then.
You're only a toddler.
In the 1980s.
How tall were
The
you?
farthest west I traveled to is to Moncton, New Brunswick. I was only a little toddler then. I don't remember.
Why not?
I was too young to remember back in the day.
Okay, that's fair. Oh, Frankie, have you ever had long hair or a mohawk?
None.
Why not?
I get buzz cut by Gerard Coombs. My next haircut at Borden's Barbershop. Gerard's my barber on Thursday, September 15, 2022 at 2 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
That's when you get your haircut, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time?
Yes.
Does your barber have a Pacific Standard Time clock in his shop so he can tell you that as well?
I get my buzz cut on September 15th. That's next month.
That's good. That's good. How can people find you on the internet, Frankie?
My Twitter is at Frankie McD. My Facebook is Frankie MacDonald. My Instagram is Frankie MacD984. My Clapper is FrankDonald984. My Twitch is FrankDonald984. And my TikTok is FrankDonald984. My LinkedIn is Frankie MacDonald. And my Snapchat is Frankie MCDOA. And my YouTube channel is Dogs and Wolves. If you want to order Frankie Down Bobbleheads on National Bobbleheads Hall of Fame, search Talking Frankie Down Bobbleheads on Google. Search and find the link to National Bobbleheads Hall of Fame. And did you hear about that? You can search Frankie MacDonald on Amazon.ca and Amazon.com as well.
On. This has been Comedy Meteorology Report, Joey Only, Imogen Bailey, Frankie MacDonald, talking about how much the weather sucks in Canada on CFR 88.7, CKW 95.9 FM, live streaming on Joey Only Caribbean Weather Dude, Thursdays at 7 p.m. if you ever want to tune into the show and leave us some comments. Everyone's on vacation this week. We got no cast.
Oh,
and
yeah,
even Prince George radio station's on vacation. So it's one of those weeks. But hey, we got together and we did it anyways. See you next time.
We wasted your time.
We wasted their time.
And for what it's worth, I can be found at www.imogen.in. Morbo!
No, sorry.
Yeah, no, you never put my tag in there, man. Like, never.
Hey, we'll do that. We'll do that for now on.
Yeah, I do have my own website that directs to everything. It's got like my entire, like, forget the whole link tree and all the links and whatnot. No, I'm just straight up imogen.in.
Okay, that's easy. I'll put it like in
Simplify.
caption.
I'm streamlined.
Yeah, we're still live streaming at least. That's not like you didn't get it in. But
Jesus.
okay, you're right. And I know because we always have everybody. We always have everybody. And I always like just Frankie.
Well, yeah, Frankie's
like-
the only one anyone actually cares about. I mean, he's awesome and I get it. Hell, Frankie's the only one of us I care about.
Yeah. That's so everyone.
Right? Frankie accidentally like butt dialed me a while ago. Frankie, he doesn't do a lot of butt dialing. He does a lot of group calls. He'll just call like everyone in his messenger list or like the 20 names at the top of the list.
I know. It's a daily thing.
It's like 5 times a day and it's awesome. Some of his friends are pretty cool and some are just complete dicks. Like
I just pretty much never go on because I'm shy. And it's like a group call with I don't know who and how many people. I'm just like,
yeah.
that's too much for me. If it's like, if I know who, it's like, oh, it's 3 or 4 of us, then it's one thing. But it's like, I don't know. Some of those other guys, I just don't know them, right? It's like, not probably gonna know them, and I'm shy when it's not on my terms.
That's fair. Well, Frankie's thing with doing the group calls is that he kind of likes to be the guy hosting and he likes everyone to talk to each other. But then it ends up being like, 5 weirdos going, Frankie, answer my question. Frankie, answer my question. And sort of trying to keep up. But if you try and talk to some of the other people, like I think his name's Brian something. He's been on with us a couple of times. He's pretty cool. He's in Portland, I think.
Yeah, Brian's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Brian. So, I can chat with Brian, but I try and chat with anyone else. And some of Frankie's friends have bluntly said, I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to Frankie. Why are you talking? I'm like, dude, Frankie, there's like 8 of us on this stupid call. And, this isn't an interrogation of the guy. He kind of wants his friends to meet and chat and hang out. Like when you invite people to your house, you want them to chat amongst each other. Well, hey, who are you? Fuck you. What?
You never have that problem around. Everybody wants to talk to you on our stream.
Oh my God. It's
That's funny.
what when it's a group call, when it's Frankie's friends, oh no. I'll still say hi to people, especially if I know they're hostile to me. I'm like, hey, how's your day going? You want to get pissy?
I should jump in more often.
Yeah.
Like I'm always doing something. I have a thing about phones too. Like I don't have I have a cell phone, but it doesn't have a data SIM or whatever card. Like it does. Yeah, it's my camera internet thing. And the phone in the house, I often I don't answer it. Josh will answer it on the other side of the house. It's like once a week. It's for me. Because to me, the phone is like so that it rings. It's a group call. I'm like, stop what you're doing, Joe. I'm like, no, I can't. I'm too shy and I'm too weird. I'm doing this right now. I'm just about to play my drums. I'm just reading a book. I'm playing World of Warships. I'm trying to finally eat something for the first time today. It's always, something, right? I'm looking at weather maps. I'm thinking about something. It's just like I'm on my own trip. Phone rings. I'm like, fuck. I gotta stop what I'm fucking doing for somebody who's not even here.
Drop
for someone who's not even here.
Thing. Yeah, drop every goddamn thing. Listen to a bunch of weirdos interrogate your buddy.
I just feel that way about the phone. The telephone rings and I'm like, finally I feel like guilty once in a while. Like, I guess I should fucking answer the phone. Like, and then it's like,
you have no
welcome to Microsoft Windows fucking asshole who's, today there's a problem with your internet, sir. I'm like, no, you're a scammer. Why are you calling my house? Like,
I love making those guys angry. I love wasting their time. I love stringing them along. Or depending on my mood, I'll just bluntly swear at them. And that's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm usually more of the just bluntly swear at them, like don't fucking bother me in my home. If you came in my door right now and started talking to me like that, I'm Windows Microsoft technical team, I'd friggin' shoot you. Get out of my life. Get out of my phone. Get out of my space. This is my secret, sacred space that scammers and jerks are not allowed to come into.
I like asking them if their parents were also bottom feeding trash. Were your parents also bottom feeding trash? I mean, and then I have an idea based on the accent. I have a vague idea of where they're from, but then I'll also say, like, in your culture, are all women whores like your mom? Is that how you came out this way? Like, I'll just start asking them. I'll make references to a culture. I mean, I don't know where they're from specifically, but I know that I'm hearing an accent. So therefore, I will make it intentionally, vaguely, pointedly racist because it's just so much more.
You're terrible. People are watching this right now.
Yes, I know that. And bear in mind, the guy who's calling me with that scam has also called a bunch of other people and stolen as much money as possible from, let's face it, people who can't afford it.
Yeah, well, that's what shocks me, right? It's like,
hi,
and people said,
you better not hurt my feelings with vague racism, unspecified.
Apparently somebody is taken over my Facebook and is sending videos. Please don't open them. I'm like, I wouldn't have opened it anyways. Like,
I don't want to see your homemade porn. Thank you.
People sending me crap on Messenger. It's like, if it's not like, now I know if you send me something because it's a video that probably you're taking for the show or something.
Yeah.
But it's just like some random, like, look, you might be in this, or like, I don't, even if I was, I don't care.
Yeah. Why would I want to see it?
Even if it was real, I don't care if I was maybe in it. Like, I wouldn't
want to see a video of yourself.
I'm like, it's just like, it's really hard to convince me to open an attachment on just a random message. Like, don't care.
I don't want to see videos of myself. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be interesting. I'm surprised anyone watches any of the crap that I post on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. But hey, it's fun to make it. I just don't want to watch it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, there's so many videos. Like, yeah, when that scam came to me, like, you might be in this video. I was like, yeah, probably.
That's nice.
I'm in videos. And then, they're like, oh, hey, that was someone hacked my. I'm like, oh yeah. If you wrote me and been like, hey man, how's it going, Joey? By the way, like, yes, like, they're talking like you're your friend. They're like, hey, check out this video or something. It's just like, people just send me a random YouTube video. I almost never open it.
No, don't bother. It's YouTube, and YouTube for the most part sucks out loud. It's a terrible platform.
I know when I send you a YouTube video, you probably don't open it to you. So it's.
No, but I will forward it to people who annoy me. If they're going to open it, that's on them. Yes, harness the evil. Make it work for you.
So I guess I should make my kids popcorn. They've been really good and quiet. And I'm gonna have to throw a lot of filler in this show. Be like, fucking Frankie
disappearing. What the fuck happened to Gabriel? What is going on with that kid?
I don't know.
I am glad that he trimmed the beard. That beard was horrific. It really was.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, he was like Amish Abraham, Amish Abe.
I liked it though. He's like, I love that quote. I was trying to look like Drake. Like, I don't know who that is really, but yeah.
I don't think Drake wants to look like Drake. Wait, he was the one that was. Is Drake the one who was being sued by some stupid Instagram influencer? Did you hear about that?
No, I think Drake was one of those ones that had. Remember, there's that big party down in Florida or someplace with like a lot of douchey bands, and then a whole bunch of people got killed or hurt in the event. There was a fire or something like that happened. Like, there was no plan. people got trampled or something. Do you remember this like last year or something?
I don't. I remember the casino thing in Vancouver. That was pretty funny. But I'm pretty sure he was the guy with the influencer incident. So he picks up some skanky Instagram influencer. And let's face it, anyone who's ever had like a sponsorship on Instagram can call himself an influencer. Okay, means the title basically means nothing. So they go back to the hotel. She signs a consent contract or whatever, so they hook up. Well, after the fact, she goes into the bathroom after him. He goes to clean up, dispose of the condom or whatever. She goes in after him and starts screaming. What he did as a precaution, and like this is not super new, but it's once again becoming social consciousness as a protective measure to protect yourself from girls like this. He put hot sauce in the condom so that she could not take the used condom, impregnate herself, and then come after him for child support. And that's exactly what this lady tried to do. So she took the dirty condom, tried to inseminate herself, but he had put hot sauce in it as a protective measure. So she's screaming. She tries to sue him for the injury.
I've never heard of anything like this. Like this kind of stuff does not happen in my world. I'm not hot sauce condoms. There was a 9-year-old trampled at Travis Scott's Astro World. And Scott and Drake are facing multiple lawsuits over the stampede last year. Happened.
Did they incite the stampede? How the hell would they be sued? Why would a
it was more than just incitement.
Oh.
It was like that there was no plan, there was no real security, that things out of control, were whipped up out of control. Thousands of fans pushed towards the skate stage where Scott and Drake were performing. The crush was too bad. Ezra, 9 years old, fell into the sea of people.
Wow.
And there was a bunch of people got really hurt during this. Ezra suffered severe injuries during the crowd surge, with left 8 others dead and dozens hurt. The boy was rushed to a hospital where he was put into a medically induced coma.
Holy crap.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a big stampede that happened, and a lot of it was about 8 died, hundreds injured at stampede.
Wow.
They were whipping people up into a total frenzy. And it was just completely.
I can't imagine being that into, well, a performer at all, that I would be, in that kind of state where I'd be part of a stampede. I mean, a mosh pit's one thing, but there's a clear exit and it has a bit of a cap on the energy level and the destruction in a mosh pit is consensual. Everyone wants to be there. A guy hits the ground, everyone, picks him up. Mosh pit etiquette. Stampede is idiotic. I can't imagine being into a performance.
Well, I think there's 50,000 people, and there was just no real crowd setup or control, or in a way that, most concerts just kind of have precautions sort of built to them in a way, and it just.
Okay.
And then the fences weren't maintained.
Oh no!
So thousands of people just came into the event. So it was way bigger than what it was paid for to be.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
So I'm just kind of reading into Georgia Strait. BC psychiatrist Elizabeth Zoffman said after the 2011 Stanley Cup riot that events like this, crowds are overwhelmed by emotion and act impulsively.
Yeah, mob mentality.
Mm-hmm. Multi-level sensory bombardment.
Sure. Totally.
Colors and lights and sound and emotion. So the crowd was, I can find an article if I spent more time.
Weird.
Yeah, it was thought that they put on this concert basically really haphazardly on a private property without proper security, proper concert setups, without, and then we're really whipping a crowd up in a way that way too large of a crowd was there.
Drake is an idiot.
And yeah, I don't know. Like I've never heard one of his songs or whatever. I don't,
I've heard a few.
but I would imagine because he's probably an idiot.
Well, okay, so there was an incident with he was gambling at a casino in Vancouver. I can't remember which one, but it was like apparently the big awesome one that's over there. Anyhow, at the casino, when you're trying to withdraw or cash out or whatever certain amounts of money over whatever the daily threshold is, you're required to show ID. And it's really specific what ID you have to show. Now, this has nothing to do with the casino's preference. This is federal regulation, right. Provincial regulation. There's about 1 million regulatory bodies that oversee casino operations. And if anything is missed, this can cause the whole place to shut down. So if the paperwork isn't done right, if you don't show the right ID and some cashier or whomever just lets it go, the whole place will be shut down. There will be a massive investigation. And this stuff is checked meticulously. I used to work at a casino. It's checked. Anything that's out of sorts is checked. And there's an investigation, and it's all very documented. So Drake goes in, he's doing his thing. He does not show the correct ID. And instead he relies on, I'm a celebrity, you know who I am. Now he's shown like everything except for like one of the pieces of ID he needs. And he's showing his American ID as well, which like, just show your fucking ID. We all know you have it, you dumb narcissistic fuck. So he doesn't show the correct ID. Yeah,
don't you know who I am?
It's basic. It boils down to that, where he's like, come on, I'm a celebrity, I'm famous, you know who I am, my money's clean, I've got millions in the bank, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not up to the damn cashier to just let it slide. They have no say. If they let it slide, they will be fired, possibly fined, way more than what they were being paid or whatever he would have tipped them, if he was even going to tip them. So they deny the transaction. He then goes online, whines about how it's all racism. Now I'm going to say, if you've ever been to a casino, you will see that this is a very ethnically diverse staff. Cast and crew, like the staff, the players, it's not exactly a monochrome setting. But he starts screaming racism and stuff like that, and then gets all of his little Twitter followers and whatever fans to go and, downvote the casino's Yelp rating or something. So it goes from being a 5-star place to 1 star because of all these idiots going like, Drake said you're racist, I believe him, knowing nothing of operations. The casino, on the other hand, is tied by extremely strict privacy laws. So they're not able to say, they have a blanket statement. They can't talk about specifics. They're not allowed to, or they would be sued. He would have sued the crap out of them for that. However, I can say from being on the inside that yes, it comes down to a simple ID thing. It's if you don't show the right ID, it does not matter who you are. You're not getting what you want. And it's nothing to do with the staff.
Let's check out this one. Alex Jones, the moment you realize that not only did you perjure yourself, but you also realize your ex-wife has your financial records and know you've been lying about them too.
Well, that is all blurry.
Alex Jones is getting wrecked right now. So I'm going to stop the stream. I'm going to make popcorn for the kids. Really good talking with you, Imogen.
Yeah. Awesome. Talk to you next time.
Yeah.